Yeah. Gestapo.
How'd you know?
The badder they are, the better they're dressed. Really must get me one of those coats.
Mr. Bruckheimer, you are a legend. Look, this film is phenomenal. The cool thing about this is that it feels like a throwback to movies that you've made that I've loved in the past, but it's also educational. Simply, I had no idea about this mission, and these gentlemen that did this mission, it was a pivotal part of the war. Now, as a producer behind the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, what initially sparked your interest in telling this story for the big screen?
I always like to tell stories about individuals that should be remembered.
Sure.
And every one of these men were heroic and should be remembered. None of them made it to the end of the war. Lassen was the last one to die in battle. So these are people that changed the course of the war. These were Churchill's secret files that were released in 2016 that nobody knew about. I love educating audiences and entertaining them. And that's where Guy Ritchie comes in. He really entertains audiences. He has a wonderful sense of humor. He embraced these characters. He made them funny, yet it's a very serious subject matter. So it's something that you're sitting there enjoying, yet you're getting a little history lesson at the same time.
That is not a dog. That is my wife.
It's very good.
Speaking of that, like many may have seen this trailer and think this is a work of fiction, but it is not. Can you talk about some of the challenges in ensuring the real historical accuracy of the film while delivering an engaging and entertaining movie?
I think you always try to find a location that will match what the original location was.
Right.
And Guy found this place. They built this whole port. They built these ships. They did an amazing job with very little money and got it done in a pristine way where it looks just exceptional on that big screen.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And you're right, Guy Ritchie, his films are phenomenal. Can you talk to me about working with him as a collaborator and what his directing style added to this film?
Well, what he does is he'll take the script, the actors will come into his trailer in the morning and they'll read the scene and then they'll say, well, how can we make it better? How can we have more fun with it? So the actors are part of the process. And he's such a good writer. He'll write lines, right on the moment that are classic.
Now, what aspect of World War II's espionage and strategy from this film do you think will surprise audiences?
I think the fact that this changed the course of the war by the fact that they disrupted the supply chain for the U-boats, where they were refueling and getting repaired. And the way they pulled it off, it's amazing that they got there. They were supposed to blow up this one ship that had all the repair equipment and everything to repair the U-boats, and they found out that the hull had been reinforced and they didn't have enough explosives to blow up the hulls.
Right.
So they said, "We'll steal it." I mean, it's brilliant, and it actually happened. That's exactly what happened.
I know. I've read the first 3 chapters of the book, and I was immediately engulfed in it. I loved it. Now, switching gears for a second, because you've made so many films that I probably wouldn't even be here today if it probably weren't for you.
Oh, thank you.
So, look, Top Gun Maverick saved movie theaters straight up. And it was the first big film that I remember watching in theaters as the pandemic ended. Can you give us any update on the 3rd Top Gun film at all? And will Tom Cruise be leading the team, or will Hangman, played by Glenn Powell, be leading the team?
It's going to be Tom Cruise. Tom is amazing. We spent some time with him. We had a story. Joe Kosinski had a wonderful story idea for it and pitched him to it. And he says, I really like that. So we're developing it. But you never know when it's going to get made because Tom is so busy. He's doing a Mission Impossible right now. He's got a picture right after it. So hopefully we'll get a screenplay that he loves, and we'll be back in the air again.
Oh, I can't wait. That was one of the best theater-going experiences I've ever had. Mr. Bruckheimer, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.